uh, we'll see with Acunetics website, right, that it is again an educational medium where we can try things and check, right. So we are going to use that, and those data we are trying to capture in the Wireshark, and just to know that how far the thing has been secure. Actually, it is like a web application penetration testing. We will be telling it as these type of activity when we are trying to find out, like a scanning, right. We are trying to find out the loopholes present in it, everything, right. It's all a way of finding what are all the security flaws which is present in a particular application. Let it be a web application or a normal application. That usually we will be calling it as vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, VAPT. Inside that you have so many types of VAPTs are there, right. In the way how they are going to do it, whether it is a dynamic way they are going to test it or in a statistical way they are going to test it, there are so many concepts behind it, okay. So in that way they will proceed with it. If I want to test it with a real time environment, then we will test it in accordingly what are all the flaws present in it. Or if I want to find out the flaws before deploying, then I will be given a code. Through that I will surf and I will understand what are all the flaws present in it. So there are various ways of doing things in it. So it is in that if a particular developer who is developing a particular application, he has to concentrate in all aspects. All the security aspects needs to be considered, and it's his responsibility to make it more secure, right. So naturally, if it is in a big organization, there will be different teams to do it, developing team, testing team, and security team. Many teams will be there to do those activities, right. So here we are starting the Wireshark capture. And this is the website. Already we used it for our Nmap scanning, right. The same way inside this vulnweb.com, you have plenty of website for demonstrating and educational purposes. It is available. Likewise, many websites are there for learning purpose. So this we can use like vulnweb test php.vulnep.com. Once you open it, it will give us a medium like one web application it will give us. So mainly this is for web vulnerability scanner. We can check for that. So in this there is a default username and password. So when we give that, it will let the user in. So with this given username and password, we can enter into this website as test and test. Actually here we can use it for multiple purpose. Here if there is a weak, if we can try demo of various SQL injections, we can inject vulnerabilities. So this medium we can use it to learn those things. As I said, we cannot try it in other systems. So when it is starts capturing, we can it's understanding like a user is trying to access his own website, but on the background we are trying to capture the details with the Wireshark. He is giving his login credentials, right, by giving his username and password, but the website is having a weak security. So in that case, when a Wireshark is running at the background, it is capturing all these details in it. So when we see this protocol stack in this layer, if it is not a secure website, we cannot find a security layer over here. That TLS layer will transport layer security, that will not be in that particular protocol stack. right? You can see that IP protocol, TCP protocols, HTTP protocols, all these you can see, but by this itself we can understand that it doesn't have any security. When the website is not having enough security, when the time it captures, that time itself, whatever form items is being passed, right? Whatever value the user has been given inside the form, everything will be captured. So you can see here, the username he can given as a test and the password given as text, that has captured in the packets itself, since it has not been in a proper encryption. If we can try it in that also, so and also in the byte forms we are capturing in the raw data format, right? Here also we can check it. The parallelly in the byte form also you can see that the value will be present inside that raw binary format. See, it is it's not a secured website, but when you see that Facebook and all, we know that proper security is applied for the sessions, right? So when we try to give, it's like a fake login attempt, okay, but the website is a secured one. They have applied all the security in it, and we are trying to capture that. Means when we see in the protocol stack, additionally we can see that a transport layer security layer in it, right? And also it will capture actually even whatever the encrypted form is there, right? It will capture. Wireshark can able to capture, but now we haven't applied any strategies inside Wireshark actually. Simply we capturing the data. Based on what is capturing, we are analyzing the data and we are trying to understand what is happening. But still we haven't done any strategies to go and find out what is behind that encryption, what algorithm is being applied, right? And taking the encrypt data and trying to decrypt it, that can be done, but now here we are not touching that. So what you can see from this is, there will be an additional transport layer, security layer will be there. Inside that, if you go that, you can see that truncated encrypted data alone, even that it is not capturing the whole encrypted data. You are getting only a part of the data alone. So that imagine you need some more additional methodologies to retrieve the complete data and to decrypt and to use it. All those things will be doing it. And it's the same actually. And the next tool what we are going to see is burp suit, right? See, this using this tool actually you can create many types of attacks based on this. Like you can make it as a man in the middle attack, right? And or you can use this tool to perform like type of brute force dictionary attacks. All those things we can perform with the help of this tool, right? So I'll give you this intro about this burp tool. In this thing, yes, it is having various features inside it, right? It have plenty of features inside this burp suit tool, and also it is one of the powerful tool to initiate these attacks. It can same way like how we capture in the Wireshark, and we are trying to capture the data the same way. Inside this burp tool, we will try to take the details from, if you are contacting from a source to destination, if you are concentrating on one particular target, through the target I can go and dig and I can try to get the credentials of it. There are so many ways. So what do you mean by brute force? Brute force attack in the sense, I'll try many ways. Somehow I have to capture it, right? So many techniques randomly I'll apply some techniques to get the credentials details. So in this, one of the attack is called as dictionary attack is there, right? So previously, if there is a login attempt failure is there, fine. If there is no such restrictions to try for number of logins, right, then it will allow. So at that time, what the attacker will do is, he will try out all the combinations. He will try to create one dictionary of file, and he will try to attempt it with all the types of passwords to break that user credential. That he will try to do with this. That we can do it with the burp suit. The key component is, the first one is the proxy. What do you mean by proxy? Literally. I will be intermediate, right? I'll sit in between, right? If it is a proxy server, if I tell it a proxy server means like a spare server for that main server, right? So the same way, if it is going to act as a proxy in the sense is, it is going to intercept, right? It is going to listen what is happening between the source and the destination, and he will try to modify the request between the browser and the target web application. I am going to sit in between the browser and the application, right? And I will make changes, whatever I want to do it inside this, that I will try to get. If I want to steal the credentials, I will apply some strategies to do it. All those things I will apply in that place. The scanner, in the sense, using this, I can detect what vulnerability is present, right? So there are so much of scanners are there, right? So here what it will do is, if there is some common vulnerabilities are there, right, it will try to find out whether it is an SQL injection or cross-site scripting injection. So SQL injection is the one that I try to gather the information from a particular database. For that, I'll have some injection queries will be there. Through that, I'll try to gather the information in an unauthorized way, right? Cross-site scripting is the one is, there are some scripting flaws inside my website, right? So through that, I'll try to go inside the scripting content, and I'll make the scripting to behave as I wish, right? So I'll modify it. So that can be done in this. That vulnerabilities is present or not, that I can detect using this scanner feature. The next one is repeater. So this will do if I am making some request, then I want to do it with multiple ways. I want to test it with the different parameters. I want to find out what are all the various response I'll get based on my different parameter changing. I have to, for example, I'm setting some threshold value to check the network traffic. So I need to change the threshold limits and to check different response what it is providing. That I can do it with repeater. And the intruder we will use to create the attacks. I'll use this intruder, and I can able to initiate an attack in an automatic way. So through this only, if I want to do a dictionary attack, then what I'll do is, I'll be as an intruder inside the burp suit, and I will be intercepting, and I'll create my own payload, and I'll select what target I want to focus on. If I want to focus on the username and password, then my payload will concentrate on that username and password, and it will initiate it. And based on that, I'll understand whether it is same way for testing I can use, or I can use it to acquire the credentials. And same for both the reasons we'll use it. I want to test for the security, and also I want to do some penetration testing, and I have to find out what are all the flaws present in it. So that I'll be using it. If I use it, I can analyze a web application. It's more flexible, and we will be getting a good report from this particular tool, and we will be getting many updates from this burp tool. Each and every time it will get updated. So this is the interface of the burp suit. Usually we will be starting it as some temporary project. At the time when it initiated, we will use a temporary project alone, or you can assign some project name. We can create a project of our own, and we can start it. So once we start this, we will be getting the screen. You can see that, right? Whatever features I have told, everything will be there as a single taps, right? You can see here, right? This is the target. So it will be having its own browser inside it, right? And then it is a proxy tab where we said that, right, all the features can be done. There is a spider tab to those dot attack, spider attack. Then I can use the scanner to scan for the vulnerabilities, and intruder tab to create some attacks, right? And the repeater tab, as I said, to induce, and same like sequencer if I want to decode from the data what I have received, want to compare, extend, there are many options are here. If I want to generate some alert from this, all these things come, we can hear. When we are accessing, actually previous to this, before opening, you have to, when you're working here, in that browser, we need to make the network settings as, you need to make it as a, that local host, you have to change it to the local host. You will be having different proxy settings will be there. In that proxy setting, you have to make it as a local host. In that, usually we will give 127.0.0.1, right, to make it work, right. This settings alone is required before we initiate. So once if we made the settings, then here whatever we are trying to access, right, that website, all the targets will appear here. Whatever we have opened in the browser, everything it start capturing in our local host. Whatever websites you open, everything will capture in this place, and whichever is running. In that, we have to select which target I want to target here. So once if you select that particular target here, all the informations related to the target will get displayed in this tab, right? And so this will be the complete dashboard of this at the beginning. And one second. Yes. So once we, I wish to listen to some website, right? I will be opening the website in the local host. It will open in the local host, and I have, in order to capture it, previously I have to make this intercept is on. At the beginning it will be in an off state, so that you will be changing it to on, so that it will start capturing whatever commands is. If I give some username and password, let it be an encrypted also, right, that, or without viewing, it is there, then it will start capturing. Then I will be moving to the, right. So here, then what I will do is move on to this intruder tab, right. There some more functionalities, let me, so burp suit, I will connect my laptop and I will show you, right, because some slides are missing, that I will show you. So here what will happen is, in this intruder, if you go is, we have to choose the parameters, to which parameter we have to target. So in that case, it will be showing that which, for example, the password we want to concentrate, that alone we will select, and we will include the dollar symbol of that, so that we are telling that only that portion I am going to concentrate, not the username, only password I am going to concentrate. Then after that, we will move on to the attack tab. Once if we set it, immediately the attack phase will come. In that, we will be setting up the files, what type of attack we want to do, that we can do it. So this is another tool where you can do it. Next we'll move on to this DVWA. See, this is a medium where it will provide, it's like an educational platform only, it's been given for that purpose, where we can try all types of attacks in it, right. Basically, all the web application attacks we can try in this, right. So various types of SQL attacks, injection attacks, and accesses attacks, right, brute force attacks, all types of attacks we can try with this medium itself. This is available inside the Metasploitable VM 2, right. You will be getting this Mutilide and DVWA in Metasploitable VM. So you can, without much complications, you can test and see over there, right. Apart from that, this you can work with Windows environment too, but provided we need some server to host it. So for that we will be depending on the XAMPP server. We will install XAMPP server. Through XAMPP server we will host this DVWA and we will run this. From that we will work on with all the types of attacks, right. So these two ways only. So if it's Kali Linux, we don't need a XAMPP server. If it is Windows platform, if you are going to install it, we need the XAMPP and then we will do it. But I am not sure how you are going to install, what complications will come at the time when you install here. Let's see that. But if somebody has already also, you can help others. So here you can type all type of scriptings. There are some other educational platforms also are there. I'll tell you after this. Through that you can it will be like a simulation, so you can understand the purpose of each and every attack actually. That I'll show you after this. So through this you can simulate and you can learn all these types of attacks in this medium. And there are various security levels will be there inside DBW, because that is the important thing, right? We should know if it is weak, what all the attacks are possible. If it is the security level is medium, which is feasible and which is not. Once if it moves to strong, higher security level, in what way it is making the website secure in order to prevent those attacks. Those things, it is easy, it is in a simulation way, so that we can try and check out the importance of the security levels in a particular web application. And as I told, it is used for education and training. We have various functionalities over it. This is the interface of it. You can see here there are various things are present here. So you can do all these cross SQL injections, cross-site scripting attacks and everything, you can see it. In this, with this DBWA security, you can set the security level low, medium and high, right. So through that we can install. So actually in this itself, the instructions, they will give some clear understanding how to execute it. So when we are trying to do this brute force attack, right, it will provide some interface to try out how to perform that brute force attack. So you will be giving this username and login, and we can check directly from the from burp suite. You can capture this DBWA thing currently what is happening, and you can intercept and you can take it. Those things you can do it. And this SQL injections, you can try all the, it has created a table with the data for us. So you can try all the SQL injection queries in the text box what they have given, and we can try out those queries and we can see what results it retrieve. The same way we can try it with the real database. See, the first thing, as I told, we need a XAMPP server to get installed. So once we install this XAMPP server, we will be getting a control panel, right. So this control panel will give us to connect with it. So you can see that there are many servers will be running, Apache server, MySQL server, many servers are there. Here we will choose what type of server we want to choose it. So Right, that the video is interrupted. Okay, once we start the server over there, right, with this local host, we can access this DVWA, okay, and here you can, with the security level, you can set to low, and then it will give this information of whether it is low, medium or high, that you can set. For first trial basis, we will set to low and then only we will try, and we will try with all the SQL injections over here. So whenever you give a value here, whatever ID which is getting matched, it will start retrieving. So basically when you see here, you can see here that as a query it is passing, you can see in the address bar question mark ID equal to 2, it is taking. So whatever value we assign here, so that is taken as the parameter ID, right? So that is what the intention of developing this website. So that text box value, you know, right, usually the form values we will assign to some parameters and then we will use it to store it in the table and to retrieve it in the table. So here this is being taken as an ID. So if we give directly the value itself, it is giving us some values based on that ID. And and when you serve that PHP file, right, you can identify what is the attribute names are present in the table, right. In this, when you see that when the security is low at this point, right, when you go and check for this, the website's view source file, it will give us some PHP files based on that current content. In that itself, you can see that what are all the username values are present, that is that attributes which is present in the particular table, that you can retrieve it. So once you know the attribute name, right, so that will help us to further move on to further queries. So each, like a step by step we will move on. First we will try to get the attribute name. Through that, if you get a table name, in that we will apply step by step queries, and we will finally move on, and we will be getting some password itself at the end. So this is what in this. First, when you give this normal things, we can understand what value is there and simply it will give us. If I want to know the version of the database, then I will give like quote space union select one comma double at symbol version asterisk. So this will go and fetch the version of the database in it. Then if I want to know the host name, then I'll give, it's all like a, you can find out like SQL cheat sheet. You will be having many queries, right? It's all like trials, we'll do it and try to get, and it's all like a syntax only. How you learned a SQL syntax, the same way this injection syntax also you will learn. And if you want to find the current database what it is, then based on that I will go and give this command and I'll fetch the current database. Once I know the database, then I'll try to see what are all the values present in the database. Then I will, so you can see here, once we get all these details, we can get the values inside it by giving that query. So it is giving the username as well as the password, but in this database the password is encrypted, right. So there are so many mediums are there. You can apply some tools like Hashcat to find out what is the encrypted, you can decrypt and see from a ciphertext to the plain text, or some online platforms also are available like MD5 checker, many things are there. You can go and paste this particular encrypted value in that website. It itself will decrypt and it will give you what is that exact plain text behind it. So if it is this weak, naturally you can go and get all these things. This is a website where you can cmd5. In this, if you placed the ciphertext, it itself will decrypt and give you what is the plain text for it. So in that, when we are finding, if we come to know there is an admin login and all the files we can decrypt and we can get into an admin login itself and you can find, and whatever values is present for everything you can get it the decrypted value and get in. So in this you can check the various security levels and we can try how it is working. And yes, that DVWA error clearing we can give separately. I think that is not present here. I will give it to you separately. Actually, before starting this DVWA, actually we need to clear some settings. It will not be active. We couldn't access all the tables directly. That I will give you a demo video what we have done so that you can clear. It will be like an inactive state. All these things will be inactive states. So step by step you have to make it clear it and make it active, then it will work, right? For that steps I will give you. And one more thing, let me show you. See, this is also a educational medium, right? So here the website is application.security. So here you can see these free exercises, right? You can see all the, we have seen the top 10 OWASP attacks, right? With respect to web, what are all the attacks are there? And in front end, what all the attacks are there? With respect to cloud, AWS, what attacks are possible, right? And with API, with iOS, like that, it has given attacks top 10 for Kubernetes. So if you go into this, you can see that what are all the attacks are there. In this, they are giving a like a simulation. You will get a very clear understanding how each and every attack will work. For example, let it go for an SQL injection itself since we have touched. In this, if you go that, they will give a scenario, right? In that scenario itself, you can understand that how, what is the intention of this penetration testing, or if it is as an attacker, what role it is there, everything will be displayed in it. So when we move on to each and everything, like how to find the loopholes in each and everything, if it is a cross-site scripting attack, if it is an SQL injection attack, all these things, it will be like in a simulated form, right? So to better understand before trialing all these hands-on, right? If we want to get a better understanding about of each and every attack, this application.security website you can go and simply you can check with the case studies, and so that it will give like a clear by instruction like through what it is trying to access. We are talking about all the fake logins, everything, right? So there they would have simulated everything so that you can understand how the step by step a penetration tester will do or a hacker will do, in what way he will think, how we will apply strategies, everything will be in a simulated form over here, right? So this will be very useful for you to learn the concepts. So you can try this too. So most of the points you yourself has given the answer the previously itself, right? So in order to prevent these types of attacks, right, there are many strategies are there. That is multi-factor authentication. It means that only single password will not be enough. We need some biometric recognitions, right? OTPs, all these things are required to ensure it. Least privileges, I want to be very sure that how least privileger I have to assign to a particular user so that he cannot get more access to the resource. And then PAM is the most important topic here today. Actually, there are, this is the one which has been the current industry is focusing also. There are websites like CyberArk, you can go and check for SailPoint, right? So these are all the vendors, they are providing many certifications also. Maybe you can check in the job opening, they will give like a sale point certified a tester, PAM access manager, like that. There are so many job openings are there with respect to this itself. So these organizations are provide certifications too. So the thing is how I am going to, it's beyond identity access management actually, right? Previously it's moved to an upper. So you can refer these two websites, you will get a very clear understanding based on how access management has been happening with respect to its privileged access, right? So these two websites will give you a very good understanding about it. As you know very well, we need to maintain certain password policies like alphanumerics and these number of password attempts, many rules and regulations we have to think. And endpoint security, it is again a deeper concept actually, how to secure an endpoint and how the devices can be secured in order to that, through that attack shouldn't happen. And encryption, regular audit, periodical audit should happen, and there are many monitoring tools are there which will be keep on monitoring the complete network activity, right? And proper incident response plan should be there in order to detect, prevent and take care of the incidents. Training and awareness of all the employees, whoever is there, they should know about what is happening. So this is there. So this is what the conclusion, like we have seen, actually again I am telling it's a ocean. There are so much of things are there. So within this what we think is our identity access management is very important, right? And provided we need a good encryption, strong authentication techniques and many password policies need to be applied to defend against these type of attacks. And again it's a continuous learning process towards this. And as the technology evolves, naturally cyber threat also is going to evolve and we need to keep on updating in seeing what is updating in our environment. So this is about it. You can, I have given some source along with that and also you can see about this CVE, right? And also you can see national database for the vulnerability, CWE. So these websites and all you can go and see that it will clearly explain about what are all the current vulnerabilities is present in each and every medium. Usually the attacker will go and surf these things and try to get what vulnerability is present in there. Based on that, that corresponding exploit they will search and they'll induce to that particular target, right? So all these things you can surf. With this we are ending it, and after this I'll give you the exe files and we'll work on with the demo part. If you have any doubts also we'll clear, right?